Welcome to episode 4 of Survivor 42 as we witness the beginning of the reign of Jonathan. But before we get into that, we had a little bit of fallout from last week's tribal. We started the episode back with Swati Tribe, and shockingly, Daniel doesn't want to talk about things a moment after he threw Chanel under the bus. Like, no wonder he doesn't want to talk about things, because he's going to be the bad guy. Like, he's the one who was in the wrong. He's the one who screwed everything up at that tribal. We did get confirmation that Hai switched his vote during tribal. That is what I thought had happened, but good to hear him actually confirm it. You know, he almost got played, but he changed his mind and very, very quickly picked up on just how slimy Daniel was, and that Daniel would do everything in his power to save his own behind before doing anything to try to help his or the people he's working with this game. Another little side note from Swati, because really we're not going to talk about them much after this opening little scene, is that Hai he's really starting to seem like a player. You know, he seems like someone who really has a handle on what this game is and how to go far in the game, and I absolutely love watching that. You know, after the end of last week and the beginning of this week, he's definitely someone that I will be watching with interest, and we're on the verge of having somebody to root for there. On top of that, looked like I was getting the vibe that Mike was going to respect what Hai did and kind of potentially move over to him, and it does look like that is what is starting to happen. You know, even later on in the immunity challenge, you saw Mike and Hai working together, and looked like they even had a little moment there when they finished their second leg of their swim. All right, let's jump back into the episode though, and our reward challenge. One scene with Swati straight into a challenge. I really wish that we would have got more time with these tribes, because like I've said in pretty much every one of my recaps this year is, I'm struggling to connect with these people because we do not get to see enough of everybody. Like last week we did not see Ika Tribe at all. This week, we barely get anything with Swati or Jonathan Tribe, and we're left with, we got to see a bunch from Ika Tribe this week, but I'd rather have this 10 minutes spent getting to know the people, getting to see how all their bonds are forming, getting to know them as people. Instead, we get 10 minutes watching the teams try to win a fish. The challenge. Jonathan Tribe, they take the early lead and absolutely cruise to victory. It's possible that people are starting to see Jonathan as a threat. They were just so far ahead of everybody, unraveling that rope. They had their system down right away. And to me, that's not something that you can just say, oh, Jonathan carried them. He kind of had everybody organized, but that's three people weaving back and forth between each other to unravel that rope. That's not just one person. As much as you want to say that Jonathan just carried that, no, that's the three of them. Who was on the rope? I think it was Jonathan, Omer, and Lindsay. They all worked together. Marianne came in at the end. She sunk her shot right away. Everybody looked like they sunk their shots right away. That was a team effort for Jonathan Tribe. It's not a one-person tribe, because if that was the case, like, why we'd just call the tribe after that person and move on. But that's not the case here with Jonathan Tribe, so let's move forward. After the reward challenge, we actually got to spend a little bit of time with Jonathan Tribe, and Omar and Marianne weren't happy with Jonathan's comments at the challenge. You know, he kind of alluded to the fact that they were an unbreakable four, and you know, I get Jonathan's point. You know, he just wants to say, hey, we're really gelling as a tribe. But on the heels of, I think it was Tori just blatantly just calling him Goliath and basically saying that he's carrying that tribe, didn't necessarily sit well with the rest of the tribe. So now we're in a position where maybe Jonathan's safety and Jonathan's tribe isn't fully guaranteed. Moving on, we're going to be talking about this tribe a lot for the remainder of this recap, and that is Ika Tribe. And you know, after not seeing them all last week, it was pretty cool to get a chance to re-meet everyone from Ika Tribe. You know, relearn where all their allegiances lie, relearn everyone's names, and you know, just remember that even like people even exist on the show, because like without seeing them, you quickly forget about people. And we kind of get this first little part, and we kind of start to see that Swati and Tori are a pair, Drea and Romeo are a pair, and Roxroy is kind of in the middle. Obviously, this does not last very long, because Tori goes and she's on this mission to manipulate Roxroy, has this whole plan, and you know what? Her plan was fine. Her plan was she needs to get Roxroy to present the idea to flip Andrea. And you know, 100%, that is what Tori needed to do, but that isn't what she did. You know, she goes, talks to him, reveals that Drea had the extra vote, that she won that during her little time away from the tribe, and thinks that this is going to flip Roxroy on Drea. But like, there's a moment there where Roxroy starts leaning in that direction, and then Tori just jumps in way too deep. Roxroy, you know, Mr. Let's do what's best for the camp. He immediately just goes back to the rest of the group and is just like, hey, just so you know, Drea, Tori just threw you under the bus. You know, Tori just tried to use you having the extra vote as a leverage to get me to flip and vote her out. But, you know, like I said, Roxroy, he is what's best for the camp. He's gonna be that through and through. You know, every shot we see of him, you know, overseeing everything at the camp, telling people how to tie knots, telling people this and that around camp, even in our immunity challenge. You know, he's sitting in the back telling everybody what to do. Didn't work out too well though. But that's the kind of player he is. You know, what's best for the camp, what's best for the tribe, what's best for our life moving forward. You know, he's not thinking about the game. He's not thinking about, you know, shifting the power in his direction, which honestly, if he would have sided with Tori and Swati and they blindsided Drea, gets her extra vote out of the game, then very, very quickly the power would have shifted in his direction. But that's not how he plays. That's not what's going on in his head. He is camp first, tribe first, and Tori trying to you make him do a game move was just a bad choice. All right, let's jump over to the immunity challenge. Jonathan Tribe, they take the early lead after Jonathan hauls the boat to the first checkpoint. I was a little worried about Marianne. You know, she was kind of hooked on that rope with like trying to get out of the way of the boat, trying to keep up so that you know, she doesn't get run over, doesn't start getting dragged by that rope as Jonathan is just hauling ass through the water. Watching Lydia try to jump off the tower of that second little leg of the challenge was hilarious. You know, everybody else, no problem. They run, jump, grab the key. Lydia, she run, jumps. Like she was like 2 feet away from getting to that key. Like nobody else even remotely had an issue. Like people were not making athletic leaps off that tower. They were kind of just like leisurely hopping off, grabbing the key into the water. And Lydia looks like a comic book character doing an over-exaggerated like Looney Tunes uh-oh moment. Very hilarious. Jonathan Tribe, they cruise way ahead, get to the puzzle way before everybody else, but Ika Tribe does close the gap and gets to the puzzle before beginning to struggle immensely. Jonathan Tribe had enough of a lead though that they were able to finish first, but then we come down to Vati, who was dead last getting to the puzzle, and Ika Tribe. And Ika Tribe just cannot get the puzzle done. Vati comes from behind, takes the lead. You know, it was kind of close at the end, but after Vati Tribe had some very last minute mistakes or struggles on the puzzle, but they still had enough to grab that second immunity, and Ika Tribe losing their flint and heading to tribal. I thought this one was going to be cut and dry. I thought this was going to be very clearly, you know, Tori can't be trusted. Let's vote her out. But somehow Tori is able to weasel her way out of the situation, and you know, honestly, I don't think that this was the wrong move for Romeo and Drea. Like as an outsider looking in, it was kind of like, why would they do that? Like she clearly tried to manipulate everybody, but Romeo and Drea now know, and Roxroy know that Tori can't be trusted. So like it's fine to keep her around. Like they know where she lies. Romeo and Drea, they know that Tori's going to do anything in her power to stay in the game. And if it comes down to it, they can just say to her, hey, we're voting out Roxroy. Are you voting with us or not? And move on. So, yeah, Tribal was definitely Swati versus Tori, because apparently Swati was going around telling everyone on the tribe that they were her number one. And that was enough to get at least Drea and Romeo to flip on Swati. She did play her shot in the dark to no avail, and she is sent packing. Yeah, like I said, I think that this mainly works out in Romeo and Drea's advantage. They don't have to work with Tori because they already know that Roxroy also doesn't want to work with Tori, and that's fine. You know, Roxroy might be angry that things didn't go his way at the vote because he did vote Tori out, and that could have some fallout, but I don't really think that it will. Tori still remains the bottom rung on that totem pole. If the merge is next week, Tori is still going to be the bottom rung. You know, they will, Drea, Romeo, and Roxroy, they will absolutely demolish Tori's game if there is a merge right away, and that should be very interesting. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this week. Jonathan did Jonathan things and carried Jonathan Tribe to 2 Jonathan victories. Go Jonathan, go. And that is it for this week, everybody. As always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we will see you later.